Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Show and our trade show on this Thursday night football edition. Commanders versus the Packers in Lambeau Field. We've got the Packers leading 14-3 right now, just out of the half, and they are driving inside the 10 right now, and they stifled the Commanders on their opening drive. So we'll see if the Packers can tack on to their lead right now. But going into tonight's action, we had plenty of trades going on. Let me get over to my... Oh, man. Let's get over to my Patreon here. So check out these deals going on for you guys. How is week one for you? Win some, lose some that you thought you were gonna lose. Vice versa. Yeah, I had some rough games. Lost some that I thought I'd win. Yeah. The guillotine leagues are fun, I'll tell you that much. Oh my God. Insane waiver wire. The first run, always the most fun. Let's see here. All right. We'll get the first deal on here for you. Actually, you know what? Hell, it's the Commanders are on. We're gonna throw out the first deal, make it a Jaden Daniels deal. Where is it? Okay, here it is. This one was a wild one. Out of my which league was this? Oh yeah, Birdhouse 2. All right, let's do it. Here we go, guys. You ready? Ready for some trades? Packers tack on a field goal. So it's 17-3 now. Green Bay. Commanders still hanging on. They got a shot here. All right, first deal. Let's do it. Birdhouse 2 League, and that's a 12 by 12 best ball format, 30-man rosters. We've got Chupis acquiring Xavier Legette, Cam Ward, a 27 first, 28 first, 26, 27, 28 second, and a third and fourth. Just too much to even fit on the screen here. Gross. We'll get back up here. Jeez. Okay. And then you get to the bottom. There we go. Trav Bayeski getting Jaden Daniels and old teammate Olamide Zaccheaus. Yes, now in Chicago as the third wide receiver, beating out Luther Burden. He gets thrown into this deal. Basically, it's Jaden Daniels for 2 firsts, 3 seconds, and Cam Ward. Okay, Xavier Legette is in there too. But the key here, I was actually trying to go for Jaden Daniels as well. Chupis had a rough week one. Came into the season with a roster that, outside of Jaden Daniels, didn't have a whole lot going for it. Decided to wait at least till week one to start trading off some assets. I don't know that I would have recommended trading off Jaden Daniels, but he got his boy, Cam Ward. So a lot of this depends on how you feel about Cam, because honestly, I was offering 3 firsts, including Chupas's own 27 first back to him. But he decided to pass on it because he wanted Cam Ward. So ultimately, for me, he's taking Cam Ward over his own 27 first, which is he's going into a massive rebuild this year, most likely not just the 26 year, but 27 also will be a rebuilding season. So that's where I was left dumbfounded. I offered enough, those 3 firsts and the kitchen sink for Jaden Daniels. Reason being, in that league, I'm sitting on Joe Burrow and then a couple of oldie but goodies in Aaron Rodgers and I believe Tua, who's not old but plays like he's old and looks old as shit on that Dolphins team. But anyway, point being, I was going after Jaden Daniels. I got a win now team, and Trav Bieski won out because he's got Chupas' boy, Cam Ward. So, which way do I lead in this? Well, this is a deal that benefits both sides, okay? I don't love the idea of getting rid of Jaden Daniels, but when your assets are slim and you don't have much options, look, he got a just an ass load of picks here. He's not getting a first till the 27 year. So I don't really love that aspect of it. But when you put it in perspective, I mean, he's getting his guy, Cam Ward. And so he's happy. Trav is definitely happy. He won it last year, trying to hang on and keep a competitive team this year. And yeah, Jaden Daniels definitely helps that out. And so, yes, I'm more scared of Trav Bieski's squad now than I was 3 days ago. I'll put it that way. So a win-win trade, just showing you how wild things can get when you trade somebody like a Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, anything in that regard. So when you're dealing those kind of players, yes, it's crazy. One second. All right. So let's get to some more deals here. If you got any questions, it's Thursday night. I know. We got some football on. We got start-sit decisions, trade questions. Do I panic on this guy? Do I just get rid of him? There's a lot of guys like that. Jalen Waddle, Kenneth Walker. Yikes. What about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith? I look at it like historically, if they're on a good offense, they're probably going to bounce back. But if it's a questionable offense, then it gets a little dicey. It's somebody like Jalen Waddle. He's got a little bit of an injury right now. Questionable to even play this week. Then you've got the whole Tyreek Hill saga going on. So lots of baggage to unwrap there if you're talking about acquiring somebody like Jalen Waddle right now. I don't know that I'm personally out there trying to acquire him, but if the price is cheap enough, I don't hate it. All right. So that's just my 2 cents on it. But back to the deals. This one is in our I missed what league this was in. This was from our Birdhouse 2 league as well. So a couple days prior to last week's game, yes, this was on Friday last week, I believe, I was able to acquire Travis Hunter from Foss for Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, and a 26 second, which is Chupas's. So it should be an early 26 second. Now, Travis Hunter, say what you will about it. I love the generational talent aspect of this. I love the possibility of him being a top 20 receiver and even in his rookie season. Yes, I'm putting a lot of hopium in it, but I just wanted to get younger at the position. I had 7 or 8 startable receivers every week, so yes, I'm losing a little bit of depth here, but gaining a ton age wise. On the flip side, Foss Boss, well, I really don't totally understand it. He's kind of competing, and he just wanted to get his starting lineup stronger. Now you can argue that Diggs or Myers could outscore Hunter this season, could, but will they? I don't know. All I know is I'm happy I got Travis Hunter. I'm not going to try and explain Foss Boss's side of it, but if in your league the Travis Hunter owner is a little scared by what happened in week 1 stats wise, just 6 for 33, go and pounce on it now. I'm telling you now, because he may have only gotten 6 for 33, but he had a 25% target share. That is juicy. He is going to get plenty of targets in the Liam Cohen offense. He played a little defensively, but I think that's what we're going to get most of the season in that regard. Okay, now on to the Crash and Smash League. This is IDP, and I don't want to waste too much time on it, but Fred Warner is a solid defensive player in that league. However, defensive players' war is pretty much a flat line, and if you know what war is, you understand what I'm talking about. But if you don't, what war simply is wins over replacement. So how good is Fred Warner versus the replacement level linebacker? Well, especially it being best ball, you can pile up 2 or 3 linebackers on your roster, and one of them very likely will score just as much as Fred Warner, even though Fred Warner is one of the top 4 or 5 linebackers in the game. So in that regard, I'm going to slightly lean Kayshon Boutte in this deal, but if Foss Boss didn't have a standout linebacker and he just wanted to have, at least one stud, Fred Warner is pretty damn consistent. 6 to 10 tackles every week. And so you can count on that. Kayshon Boutte, actually it's Booty, I learned. I used to call him Booty, but then I thought I was just making fun of the guy. But it actually is Booty. Kayshon, that is. Booty was basically a waiver wire pickup in some leagues. Now, in other leagues like this one, he was bottom of the roster fodder, so to speak, and I think this followed up the trade that the Travis Hunter deal, and so what happened here is just him thinking he's in the same league but not in the same league, because there's no reason for me, from my perspective, I would have kept Booty. He's got a good opportunity, good shot to be the top receiver in New England this season. So I'm in favor of keeping Booty situation. Good job, Hergot. All right, now this is our 53-man league. So this is an insane league. We start 11 offense, 11 defensive players. We have 7 rounds in our draft. Lots of defensive players get picked. I would say 25-ish or so got taken, 25 to 30 probably. Maybe more than that. I'd have to look at it realistically, because out of 7 rounds, I'd say 3 rounds worth were probably defensive players, so it's probably more like 35 defensive players, actually, which means that the 2nd and 3rd round picks are more valuable in this format. Hence why I was willing to get off my boy DK Metcalf here for David Montgomery, a 2nd and a 3rd. Threw him back a 6th and 7th. We went back and forth on this one. I really didn't want to get rid of DK, but I already had, I don't know, I want to say 35% roster share on DK, and this is a roster that I'm kind of middle of the pack on. I don't know that I'm going to win it this year, so I don't mind scooping up the draft capital. I've got a lot of draft capital in the 26 draft, and so adding this second really builds it up. I have a couple firsts. Now I have three seconds and 3/3. So I'm going to be really strong in this 26 draft. And like I said, this is start 11 offense, start 11 defense. There's a lot of players on your roster. I can more than make up for DK Metcalf with a couple of, back end wide receiver threes. I love DK, but in this format, this was the best format for me to get rid of one of those shares in, because in all my other formats that I have DK, he's a weekly starter pretty much. But in this one, not necessarily, because of the best ball aspect of it, plus just the meaningfulness when you have 22 starters on a week-to-week basis, like one wide receiver 25-ish isn't going to make a huge difference. So that's why this was, of all the leagues that I had DK, this was the most willing league I was to get rid of him. Chris Avant, on the other hand, he beat me week 1, and he has a decent squad this year, so I can understand going out and getting his boy DK too. He loves the guy as well, so whatever. He loves DK, I love DK. I don't care. I'll let him have a share. All right. Sometimes just, was it making a trade to make a trade? Kind of. But I don't hate it when I'm on the value side of it. It was a process deal all the way. Now, Kyle and the Fantasy Reaper, Brandon, decided to get into the action. Not too much longer after my DK trade, Kyle grabbed a 26 and 27 first from the Fantasy Reaper for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So again, in this format style, I lean Kyle in this deal. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's definitely going to help the Reapers lineup out. Just giving up 2 firsts for a player in this format is a lot. And so, I don't know. It's more of a win-win, but Kyle really, I think, strengthens his position for the future much more so than the Reaper with this kind of deal. This league, it's very, how do I put it? Being that it's best ball and there's so many players involved, there's a lot of parity in this league. So it's very hard to gauge who's a standout team, like value-wise across the board. If I go on to Dynasty Daddy, it's still very close. This is our second year in this league, and I still feel like I got a shot this year. I finished, I think, 5th in points this last week. I just happened to play against the guy who had the most or second most points. So, anyway, point being, a lot of parity in this league. I kind of lean Kyle's side just because of what he could do with those 2 firsts in a best ball type format. So, that's the only reason. Don't hate it from the Fantasy Reaper side. Don't get me wrong here. But if I had to pick a side, I think I would have leaned the 2 firsts. Now, if I had Amon-Ra and I was offered 2 firsts, I don't know that I would have taken it either. So now we have another deal from, yes, he followed that deal up, Kyle that is, with another deal acquiring another 27 first, loading up on those 27 firsts. Love it what Kyle's doing here. He gets Jarrett, Chimmery DK, and Harmon, the defensive lineman. On the other side, you got Danielle Hunter, DeAndre Swift, and Harold Fannin, all for that 27 first. So I see what Mojo is doing here. He's getting 3 bona fide starters, getting rid of 3 guys that are borderline even on your roster. So I like both sides of it, but again, I'm leaning Kyle just because of the value of the 27 first and what it does for his team. I think he improved his team more so than Mojo in this case, but Mojo also is the defending champ in this league, so he's trying to defend his title. Totally understand that aspect of it. All right. We skipped that one. We did that one already. All right, here's my last man standing league. Now, this one's a very interesting format. It's 1 quarterback, as you can see, DJ Moore for Dak Prescott. Normally wouldn't fly in a super flex league, although they both go in a very similar range in that type of format in a startup. Dak is definitely usually worth more in that kind of league. Oh, and the Commanders here going for it on 4th and 7 at the 37 of the Packers. This is a big play here. If they can continue this drive, they're down 17-3. They really need a conversion here. Otherwise, they're in trouble heading into the 4th quarter. Oh boy. Threw it to the sticks, but I don't know if Ertz caught it past the first down. Now, there was a flag on the play, which very much could be pass interference. And I think it's on the defense. Anyway, back to this trade. So this league is a 1 quarterback, but a start 2 tight end league. So key is knowing your format. And the real reason this deal got made, because in a 1 quarterback league, DJ Moore is slightly more valuable than Dak Prescott. But Lake Slavic had Brock Purdy as his starter. So with Purdy's injury, that's what sort of forced Slavic's hand here to make a deal like this. And so Dak's definitely somebody who's got a great future for this season. He's going to be slinging it a lot in that offense. From his side, wide receiver was not a strong position for him. So I understand the deal. Like it for both sides, but I lean Swamp Thing. I think I can't say that he improved his team more so, but at least for the next 2 to 5 weeks, which is how long this turf toe injury is for Brock Purdy. What do y'all think of the Bears, though? The Bears offense just falling apart after that first drive on Monday night. I mean, gross. Did you guys watch that Monday night game? Oh, my God. Like, here Caleb Williams comes out and has a great first drive. And everybody's all going all in on Caleb after that first drive, right? And then he did nothing the rest of the night to give you hope. Like, and J.J. McCarthy, meanwhile, held his own all night long, and finally it got to the 4th quarter, and he showed up. And did he show up? He showed up in a big way. Earning NFC Player of the Week and getting 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to pull the victory out for the Minnesota Vikings, 27-24. Over their rival Chicago Bears. So I love what I saw from McCarthy. I absolutely think that the NFC North is going to be ran by McCarthy in the next couple of years. Like, he looks like the dude. He has it, if that's what you're, you know, some guys have it and some guys don't. And McCarthy has got it. Like I saw a post earlier today on Twitter going back to his 8th grade year, I think it was. The dude is 61-3. 61-3. 3 losses in the last like 7 years. That is just, that's a winner. Okay, you can put all the intangibles out there. You can complain about his yardage and passing touchdown totals at Michigan, but the dude is a winner, and that matters. Okay, especially when you get to the NFL level, especially when you're talking about coming into a new team as a rookie. Sorry. Ooh, Jaden Daniels just got upended. He's okay. Man, but those are some great numbers. This kid is the real deal, and Caleb Williams is not. Like, you could see the frustration from Ben Johnson on some of those one hoppers to his wide receivers, the errant throws, just not having command of the offense and not being able to sustain drives, just the frustration. And look, I might have been just speaking hyperbole when I said a couple weeks ago on our show with Matt English when we were making bold predictions, and I said that Tyson Bagent would take over at some point this season. I was exaggerating, but there's a little truth to it because Ben Johnson didn't come in here and draft Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was already there, and so he's got no allegiance to the kid. I'm sure he knows that he needs to make it happen with him because management's investment is just way too much for them to really actually bench him. You would have to look really, really bad. But Anthony Richardson was a top 3 pick, and if Caleb doesn't get his shit together by mid-season, we'll see. We'll see. But DJ Moore, I think whether it's Caleb Williams or Tyson Bagent throwing the ball, DJ Moore is going to get his. DJ Moore is a solid receiver all around. He's not Keenan Allen because they're a little bit different. DJ Moore is a little more downfield. I'm trying to think quickly of who I'd compare him to, but I think bottom line, maybe Amari Cooper I'd compare him to. So DJ Moore is his game's going to age well. Oh, Zach Ertz gets into the end zone. Yeah, that's right. I got Zach Ertz in a league that's important. Yes. And a boy, Zach. 2nd touchdown in 2 weeks. That late round tight end game. Yes, I love it. All right. And a boy, Zach. Okay, next up, unless you got some questions about the Bears, you want to give me some feedback? I'm sure no Packer fans are watching me. They're watching the game. But let's see this next trade. Okay. We want more trades, right? Okay. Here we go. This one involving my boy Mac Jones. Yes, Mac Jones. I was able to scoop up in a bunch of leagues this morning with the news. I actually picked him up in a couple leagues yesterday. anticipating or seeing the news. I could kind of read between the lines that Brock Purdy really just wasn't looking like he was going to be playing this week. So being in a lot of super flex leagues, I could see the value of Mac Jones. He's a uh, almost a carbon copy of Sam Darnold when he went to San Francisco. Other than the fact that Mac Jones is the number 2. Like Sam Darnold went there and he was stuck as the number 3. He did get it in and get some action, but Mac Jones is getting action right away. Week 2, thrown into the lineup, and he gets a start in New Orleans. So the only way it could be drawn up better for him was if it was actually in San Francisco. But as we all know, Kyle Shanahan's sort of a quarterback whisperer, and so he gets the most out of his guys and helps them prosper. Like you saw with Sam Darnold, he went from a terrible shit show with the Jets to even worse almost in Carolina, and then went to San Francisco and all of a sudden was a completely different player. Learned how to play football again. Went and started for the Vikings last year, was a top 10 quarterback, and then got paid by the Seattle Seahawks this year. And so Mac Jones could have a similar trajectory. Like, Mac Jones easily could have a couple of good weeks here. He's going to have anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks. Anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks here to play. Let's say he starts 4 games and wins 3 of them for the Niners, right? Ultimately, when you're with the Niners, you're a game manager, okay? People still, they still think that Shanahan wants a stud. I don't know if they still do, but they signed Purdy with big money, and so Mac Jones, I mean, all he's got to do is be a game manager. And I know Kittle is going to be out for the majority of these games as well. And they're banged up. Ayuk's out. But as long as McCaffrey's back there, and they still have Juwan Jennings, they've got Ricky Pearsall, pieces are still there for success. And so in my Birdhouse 1 league, you see here, I am Havdi, who had Brock Purdy, actually was willing to give up a second rounder. Now, he did get a 3rd and 4th as well as Mac Jones in return, so it's not terrible. This is a best ball league. This is the Birdhouse 1. And Havdi only had 2 starting quarterbacks in this league, Purdy one of them. So you can see the absolute need and why he was willing to go up to a second rounder. Now, that said, being best ball, 3rd and 4ths are worthwhile picks. I love this trade for Charlie. Then we go down to the Fantasy Fisting Frenzy League, and I was willing to give Havdi again, another Purdy owner league. Havdi was all over Purdy, and now he's paying for it, but I just gave him up for a 4th. I mean, I literally picked the guy up this morning, and if you're going to give me a free 4th for it, why not? I tried to get a 3rd, didn't want it, came back offering the 4th. I then saw the deal that he had just made, so I tried doing that one to get a 2nd, but he didn't want to do that. So, because in this league he actually had 2 other quarterbacks. So, regardless, point is Mac Jones was my 6th quarterback. So, like, just give me the free pick. I'll figure out something to do with that 4th. Probably not use it on a player, though. Okay, so those are the trades that I just had time to discuss with you. Couple of them, revolve around some players that might be struggling, or some situations where you could see struggling happen. The Bears is an interesting situation. The Dolphins, as we mentioned, Havdi having Tua in that league. I think that's a little more of a panic situation there in Miami. You've got Tyreek, who's got off the field issues now, and didn't really play that well week one on top of it. And so, man, if I had Tyreek right now, I don't believe in the sunk cost fallacy there. So I'm getting out now because, he could get traded somewhere, but where's he going to go that he's going to be the top dog? I mean, I guess there's a spot, but is he going to get suspended by the NFL again? I don't know. With so many other players out there, I would just assume, for a second rounder, even, give me Jacoby Myers right now. Like, I can at least bank on Jacoby Myers showing up every Sunday, right? He may not have anywhere near the explosiveness or the potential explosiveness that Tyreek has, but Tyreek's it's just reeking of the Antonio Brown situation now, and get me out of that. That's all I gotta say. If I'm getting him for a third, I guess, but jeez, it's just a situation I want out on, and I don't even want to buy into Jalen Waddle and the hope that Tyreek is gone and then Waddle takes over magically and gets all the looks. Like, that offense is just so gross right now. The only guy who's safe is Devon Achane, because Achane will get his points regardless if the Dolphins offense flips it around and he gets more red zone opportunities. He'll get more touchdowns. If they suck, he's going to get a lot of catches, which was his game last year. And so, yeah, I'm loving Achane the rest of the year because you're going to get dump-offs there. Now, is there the fear that he gets a small injury and then they shut him down? Sure. Okay. But as long as you're not overpaying for Achane, like, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this, but there was a guillotine league and $10,000 in fab, and Achane got traded for RJ Harvey and $3,000 in fab. So in a $1,000 guillotine league, that'd be the equivalent of 300. All right, so that's a lot. And I love RJ Harvey, but Achane is money, and so I kind of lean that one. It can be considered a win-win, but I'm going to lean Achane in that one because somebody like Achane gets chopped, and that dude's going for like 5,000. So RJ Harvey right now, as much as I love him and his potential, in the guillotine league, he's simply a couple $100 guy. That's all he is. Like, he's no guaranteed start in any week. So go from RJ Harvey up to a guaranteed starter every week, like Achane. That's a big move. I like it. So the equivalent would be like trading Achane for RJ Harvey and first. Okay. If I'm contending, I'm going to take the Achane side there. As much as I love RJ Harvey and his potential, like, Achane is going right into his prime right now, and these are going to be his prime years. He may get them wasted away in Miami, sort of like Alvin Kamara. But there's still the potential there for a couple of just monster games. Like, the dude still can score on any play, any given down. Okay. And RJ Harvey kind of possesses that too. We saw the 50-yard run week one. He's on a much better offense, so he's going to have a much more positive game atmosphere. And that offense is really going to flow through Dobbins and Harvey. They're going to get Harvey more touches as the season rolls on. And, oh, there it is. Tucker Kraft in the touchdown. Packers score 23-10. They'll kick the extra point here to hopefully make it 24-10. 8:57 only left in the fourth quarter. So Jordan Love looking good. Everything looking rosy in Lambeau Field for the Packers. I mean, wow. Just enjoying some of the fan reaction to the touchdown. Yeah. So, yeah, any questions about your lineups, anything, just throw it in the chat. I'll be sure to answer it tomorrow when I see those questions, start sit questions, whatever. I'm going to be up with a buy-sell video tomorrow. Go over some more of those panic players as well as some of those players who did well in week one and discuss some guys who might be good buy highs, okay? Especially talking about the rookies in general. You got Genty, Hampton, Harvey kind of. Judkins still completely up in the air, right? And Caleb Johnson just getting eased out of the picture almost in Pittsburgh. I don't know what the deal is there, but I'm scared about that guy. And then you look at the rookie wide receivers. I love the rookie wide receivers. You got Tet, Hunter, and Ibuka all getting 25% target shares in week one. Like, I know Ibuka got in the end zone twice, so he looks great, but Tet and Hunter both got amazing target shares as well. So great outlook for the top rookie wide receivers week one. Not so much for the rookie running backs, but again, that poses a good potential buying opportunity. If you see that window right now, go ahead and attack. All right, this is the time. You get guys who lose one game and panic and decide, oh, the season's over. Now, I've done it, not panicked as much as going into the season. I've already seen that I'm not probably going to be a contender, but I want to let my vets get out there and play a little, score some points, so that their trade value is worth a little more. And so I do that. I did that in 2 leagues last year, and I was able to acquire much better draft capital than had I tried trading those veterans in the off season. So that's just some little thought there, something to keep in mind if you have a middling to bottom roster. Wait for them to score a touchdown. Boom. Try and strike them. Guys are looking for points all over the place. If you want out now and you're middle of the pack, this is the time to start looking at it, right? Draft picks are cheap from what you saw. Look at all those trades. Go to my Patreon, see the trades in the chat. The firsts are getting thrown around. 27 firsts are cheaper to acquire right now than they were 2 months ago. It's insane to say that, but when people were in draft season, they were already talking about that 27 class. But now that the season started, nobody's really talking about that 27 class as much, right? Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams have not gotten off to huge starts. I believe Jeremiah Smith scored last week, but Arch hasn't looked any. He didn't look good against Texas. We'll put it that way. He had a big game last week, but that was against like East-West Mississippi State or something. I don't know who they were playing. Um, but yeah, that 27 class has lost a little luster. I think that they're still going to be super strong, but people are slinging around those picks a lot more freely than I would have thought. And so that's good. If you're looking to rebuild in the 26 and 27 years, um, those first rounders, you can go out there and get them right now. So that's all I've got right now. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Packers-Commanders game here. We'll see if the Commanders can get on the board on this drive. They're going to need to probably get a touchdown this drive if they want to stay in this game. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Be sure to smash the like and subscribe. You'll get that. Click that little bell. You'll get notified when my next shows are coming up. Again, I'm going to try to get that buy-sell video tomorrow. And we'll definitely be here Monday night when Tampa takes on the Houston Texans. That's it, Matt English's team. Looking forward to it, man. If we can start out, Bucks can start out 2-0 on the road. Woo-wee. That would be juicy. All right. Thanks again for joining 2 nights. With that, I want to remind you all, never stop working.